Every spring, millions of urban dreamers rush to the store, spending $50 a bag on shiny, premium plastic-wrapped soil, believing they are buying life. But within months, a tragedy unfolds. The green leaves yellow, the growth halts, and that expensive soil turns into a gray, solid brick of dead dust.
What happened?
The secret lies in the industry's darker truth. 90% of bagged commercial soils on the market fail the standard of living ecosystems. Those uncomposted wood chunks are desperate for carbon breakdown. To do it, they commit a microscopic crime. They steal every drop of available nitrogen from your plant roots. Worse yet, after 6 months sealed airtight in dark plastic bags with zero oxygen, 80 to 95% of all beneficial microbes are completely eradicated. You are not buying soil. You are buying an expensive, sterilized biological graveyard. And it costs you hard-earned money for absolutely zero return. Listen to an old farmer. Stop buying fertility. Build it. Real soil is not a commodity manufactured in a plant. It is a living, breathing ecosystem built by hand. Take a standard 40 by 60 centimeter box. To turn this plastic trash into a sanctuary, your first step is structural. Drill 8 clean 10-millimeter drainage holes at the base. Without drainage, your roots dissolve into green rot lines. Lay down 3 centimeters of clean gravel pebbles, followed by a breathable mesh fabric filter layer. Above this filter sits 15 centimeters of true living loam soil. This critical dimension balanced perfectly with 45% raw minerals and 5% pure quality organic matter. In a healthy box garden, a single tablespoon of this living matrix contains over 1 billion beneficial bacteria, a population larger than the entire nation of India. 90% of land plants rely on mycorrhizal fungi. These microscopic threads expand your plant's absorption root surface by a staggering 100 to 1,000 times. The engine of this box ecosystem is completely governed by one single metric: pH. Achieve a balanced value between 6.0 and 7.0, or your nutrients lock up completely. 80% of urban nutrient problems are simply wrong pH, not lack of expensive chemicals. When you build a living box, nature works for you for free, but an engine requires fuel. To feed 1 billion hungry underground workers, we do not go to the garden center. We open your kitchen trash bin. To feed 1 billion hungry underground workers, we do not visit the garden center. We open your kitchen trash bin and extract the real urban gold. Look at this raw biomass. Food waste is never garbage. It is raw, highly concentrated chemical element blocks waiting to be unlocked by biology. We begin with the triple alliance of urban wastes: autumn leaves for massive carbon density, and fresh-cut grass for a 3 to 4% surge of pure nitrogen. Next, the potassium heavyweights: yellow banana peels. A staggering 42% of their dry mass is pure potassium, equivalent to industrial chemical fertilizers. Then we build the calcium armor. Kitchen eggshells are 95% pure calcium carbonate, completely replacing expensive agricultural lime to strengthen cell walls. To our underground workforce, this is not trash. This is a 5-star luxury buffet that triggers an immediate biological explosion inside the box container. Look at the calculation sheet. Commercial nitrogen urea, $50. Commercial potassium, $40. Your kitchen scrap solution cost, exactly $0. But beware, simply throwing raw scraps onto the surface of your box container is a recipe for absolute disaster. It invites the ultimate urban curse. Raw fruit sugar rotting under open air creates an immediate beacon for an invading army of 1,000-strong fruit flies and foul mold networks. To fix this completely, we deploy the ancient Italian lasagna technique. Always bury green nitrogen materials under a strict 5-centimeter guard layer of brown carbon. No straw or rice husks in your apartment? Don't spend a single cent. Cut a standard cardboard sheet box down to size and press it flat onto your soil. Cardboard has a massive carbon ratio of 350 to 1. It retains moisture, blocks light entirely from weed seeds, and traps internal heat. This creates the absolute holy grail for your subterranean ecosystem. A dark, perfectly damp sanctuary protected from the 50-degree surface sun killing heat. With fuel secured and the defensive canopy locked tight, the real magic begins. It is time to mobilize the ultimate underground army of the urban realm. Beneath that cardboard vault, the internal temperature spikes as a staggering 5 tons of microscopic biological mass per forest hectare goes to work. Watch the biological ledger spin. One single thimble of this living soil matrix shifts immediately from 0 to over 1 billion active bacteria. This is a city that never sleeps. Entire battalions of specialized biological workers are deployed into distinct zones, each operating with absolute industrial precision. First, the demolition squad. Bacillus. These robust, specialized microbes strike the complex cell walls of kitchen trash, tearing tough, raw fiber down completely. Simultaneously, the security garrison, Pseudomonas. They deploy a biological defense shield around root tips, secreting natural antibiotic compounds to neutralize harmful pathogens. But left entirely alone, a plant's roots are severely limited. They can only extract nutrition from an absolute fraction of the container box soil. Enter the ultimate infrastructure alliance, mycorrhizal fungi. Over 90% of all terrestrial plants depend entirely on this ancient symbiotic integration. These fungal threads spread outwards like wildfire, expanding your plant's absorption root surface area by a staggering 100 to 1,000 times. Think of them as the Wood Wide Web, an underground logistics corporation. Fungal threads act like lightning-fast delivery couriers, moving vital mineral payloads directly to the plant. This is a highly sophisticated trade stock market. The plant root barters its liquid carbon sugars, manufactured through sunlit photosynthesis, in exchange for mined soil phosphorus. Deep within this matrix, specialized laboratories go online. Rhizobium and Azotobacter bacteria. These microfactories break down inert atmospheric nitrogen gas completely. They capture raw nitrogen molecules from air pockets and re-engineer them into soluble ammonium compounds, the exact organic dam compound your plant roots crave. But this living container box does not just manufacture chemical nutrients for your crops. It breeds a secret medicine for you, the gardener. When you touch this dirt barehanded, you encounter Mycobacterium vaccae. Clinical data proves this specific soil microbe mirrors antidepressant effects, surging serotonin production inside your brain. This is why real organic soil makes you happy. Your box garden is now a fully fueled, high-powered biological superfactory. It is time to release the heavy machinery. To turn a barren box into a highly productive agricultural unit, you must understand the exact formula of elemental input. We do not guessing here. Your plants demand 3 macro pillars: nitrogen for leaf expansion, phosphorus for root architecture, and potassium for cellular fluid pressure and robust crop yield. Let's build the nitrogen block. Commercial growers spend millions on synthetic urea. You simply harvest fresh grass clippings from your lawn or kitchen greens. This fresh green mass carries a potent 3 to 4% nitrogen concentration, instantly fueling cellular division and turning pale leaves a deep, dark jade. Your container vegetables see this nitrogen influx and immediately change. They hoist signs, shouting for more raw material blocks to assemble growth. Now we build the phosphorus pillar for deep root anchoring. Forget expensive superphosphate bags. Crush boiled kitchen fish bones or chicken skeletons instead. Look at the structural blueprint. Natural bone meal carries a massive 10% nitrogen and 6% pure phosphorus profile, creating a long-term element reservoir. When these phosphate dust particles dissolve, root cell walls instantly solidify. They anchor deep into the styrofoam corners, forming an unshakable physiological foundation. Finally, the potassium pillar for defense and water balance. Our prime source is the kitchen waste champion, banana peels, containing a massive 42% potassium concentration. 42% potassium content from $0 kitchen scrap peels completely matches premium commercial chemical fertilizer bags. Stop throwing your wealth away. Potassium controls the cellular hydraulic valves. It pumps moisture upward, inflating plant tissue like a steel tire, driving massive crop structural resistance. Let's look at the ultimate element billing receipt. Commercial nitrogen, $50. Commercial potassium, $40. Your total kitchen scrap cost, exactly $0. But pay absolute attention. Simply dumping raw kitchen scraps directly onto the topsoil face of your styrofoam container box is a shortcut to absolute disaster. Raw sugars rotting under open urban air act as an immediate homing beacon for an invading army of 10,000 aggressive fruit flies and toxic mold spores. To neutralize this completely, we deploy the ancient Italian lasagna method. Always lock your green nitrogen scraps under a strict 5-centimeter guard layer of brown carbon material. Underneath the carbon shield, the real magic begins. It is time to release the heavy underground machinery, the ultimate earthworm labor force. According to international FAO soil records, a single hectare of healthy earth harbors 1 to 7 million earthworms, rebuilding structure constantly. Charles Darwin studied these creatures for 40 years, concluding they are the single most important organism in the entire history of the world. A single active earthworm processes 10 kilograms of raw soil and waste inputs every year, shredding and converting material inside its biological engine. The output is the ultimate agricultural prize: earthworm castings. It carries 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than normal Earth. Cornell University data confirms 1 single ton of pure earthworm castings holds the exact structural biological value of 1 full 1,000 kilograms of heavy synthetic chemical bags. To harvest this black gold inside a small apartment, you do not need acres. Build a specialized home vermicompost unit with a simple 40 by 60 centimeter container box. Puncture the base with 10 5mm drainage points. Then, drill 15 3mm ventilation points high on the container walls for absolute oxygen circulation. Construct the initial bedding matrix. Shredded, unbleached paper and cardboard mixed with rich, mature compost Hawaii. Achieve a damp structural texture like a perfectly wrung sponge. Maintain an internal chemical profile strictly between 6.5 and 7.5 pH. Anything outside this target boundaries breaks their biological skin barrier entirely. Feed them properly. Chop raw vegetable peels and used coffee grounds finely. These are premier inputs. But strictly avoid meat, dairy, oil, or intense garlic. Intense capsicum from chili peppers or high acidity from citrus fruits burns their delicate breathing skin, triggering immediate panic flight loops instead of digestion. As the workforce breaks down inputs, a secondary prize collects at the base drainage: worm tea. This dark liquid is a concentrated microbial biological shot. With casting production hitting maximum capacity and liquid elixir fueling the bloodstream, our chemical engine is fully primed. Next, we master the water valve. Now we confront the absolute silent killer of city balcony gardens, the daily shallow drowning disguised as affection. Stop watering every single day. When you splash the surface daily, you create a toxic paradox. The top layer turns into a soggy swamp, blocking all oxygen from entering the earth matrix. The roots become lazy. Because water is always sitting on top, they refuse to dive deep, forming a weak, superficial ring system that collapses in heat. The golden law of irrigation: water deeply, but infrequently. 2 to 3 times a week is ample, but each session must penetrate 15 centimeters down. This forces the roots to hunt. They shoot downward, drilling deep into the styrofoam corners to drink, creating an unshakable, resilient anchor infrastructure. To automate this deep irrigation perfectly for zero cost, we deploy a 400-year-old traditional irrigation masterpiece, the ancient clay Ola container pot. Bury the unglazed clay pot directly into the dead center of your styrofoam box container, leaving only the neck opening exposed above the surface line. Because the terracotta walls are completely porous, moisture seeps out through microscopic channels at an ultra-slow, regulated pace, driven entirely by soil tension forces. This is an intelligent, automatic system. If the box soil is damp, the water stops seeping. If the soil dries out under the hot sun, the matrix pulls moisture out immediately. The results are magnificent. Your crop roots grow thick and wrap directly around the buried clay walls, drinking sweet mineral water straight from the physical source without intermediaries. By placing water deep in gum, you eliminate surface evaporation entirely, slashing total water resource consumption by a staggering 70%. Zero waste, infinite intelligence. Don't have an unglazed clay Ola pot available in your apartment right now? Do not spend a single cent. Grab an empty plastic water beverage bottle instead. Bury this modified bottle vertical, fill it completely with water resource, and screw the cap layer down tight to create an automatic, ultra-slow micro-irrigation spike. With hydrology automated perfectly and moisture locked inside the root cores, our baseline soil infrastructure is fully fortified. Now, we organize the green leaf surface canopy space. Now we step onto the surface canopy. In a limited space like a 40 by 60 centimeter container box, monoculture is your absolute worst enemy. When you plant only one single crop variety, they hunt for the exact same nutrient depth, causing rapid, localized soil starvation inside the box. To unlock maximum yield efficiency, we apply the law of companion planting, stacking mutually supportive plant kingdoms together to build an ecosystem alliance. Our anchor crop for the Styrofoam box is the tomato bee, specifically cherry tomatoes. Plant exactly 2 robust seedlings at opposite corners of the space. Tomatoes are deep-feeding vertical sun worshippers. They drop taproots deep into your lower loam layers and ascend high onto an overhead climbing trellis network. Now we activate the intermediate space. In the empty center zones between the tomatoes, insert aromatic sweet basil plants, hung quay, the ultimate biological companion. Basil is a shallow-feeding surface companion. Its roots stay strictly within the top 10 centimeters, never competing with the deep taproot infrastructure of your tomatoes. This alliance goes far beyond physical root spacing coordinates. Basil is a chemical warfare asset, producing potent volatile essential oils like linalool. These complex scent emissions create an invisible, highly concentrated protective dome cloud hanging directly over the entire box container volume rim. This cloud completely scrambles the sensory navigation radars of devastating urban pests like whiteflies and thrips, forcing an immediate, chaotic aerial retreat. And the ultimate chef's prize? Linalool volatile transfers naturally changed flavor profiles. Growing them in the same box soil matrix drastically enhances tomato sweetness. To complete the box fortress garrison, add companion flowers. Insert bright marigolds, Cook Van Ta, along the outermost margins and corner boundary limits. Marigold roots secrete alpha-terthianol, a powerful natural chemical shield. This compound completely blocks destructive root knot nematodes from destroying your tomato root tissue cell layers. Want to add cooling mint, bakha, for total pest control? Listen closely. Never plant mint directly inside the same box soil space. It is a spatial tyrant. Mint runners spread aggressively like an iron net, choking out everyone. Isolate mint in its own pot vessel. Our companion grid layout is now completely unified. With your surface canopy spacing optimized, you face the final, crucial temptation: the urge to turn, mix, and aggressively dig your box soil. Put down the trowel. Mechanical tillage inside a container box is a violent biological earthquake. A single dig tears apart the intricate living architecture built over months. Your spade instantly breaks the delicate mycorrhizal network webs. This underground fungal internet requires 4 to 6 weeks of absolute rest to repair connection tracks. Worse yet, you awaken an ancient enemy. 1 cubic meter of soil contains over 50,000 dormant weed seeds, completely sleeping in dark isolation. Tillage flips the soil matrix, dragging these dormant seeds directly up into the top sunlight line, triggering a massive, uncontrollable weed explosion inside your box. We apply Shizenha no-ho, the natural no-dig method of Fukuoka and Charles Dowding. We never dig down. We always build upward from the top floor surface. Every single season, simply layer 5 to 10 centimeters of pure, rich organic compost hoi directly flat onto the existing soil face inside your box cho. This top layer does not disturb anybody underground. It acts as an absolute physical blanket block that suppresses the 50,000 weed seeds below entirely. You don't need to sow your soil. Your earthworms act as a natural, zero-cost automated labor crew, moving nutrients deep numb for you completely free. Look at Charles Dowding's 10-year scientific trial data. The unturned no-dig garden beds show an incredible 80% reduction in total weed counts. Furthermore, total manual working hours required to manage your urban container system drop by an absolute 50%. Less labor, double energy results. To secure the no-dig system completely from external environmental threats, you must always cover the exposed soil surface with a dense guard canopy layer. A dense layer of mulch cuts water resource evaporation by a massive 50 to 70%, trapping vital moisture directly inside the root cores where it belongs. Under the blinding 50-degree summer sun, an uncovered cho completely sterilizes your V-Synvut. Mulch drops temperature instantly, preserving your living underground city network. With K-Zoi banned forever, mulch secured, and our biological network fortress tight inside the white container box, the ecosystem engine hits absolute harmony. Let's calculate the final yield metrics. Let us calculate the final economic validation sheet. Skeptics claim container gardening inside an apartment is an expensive, low-yield urban hobby. They are wrong. Measure the spatial perimeter coordinates. A standard apartment balcony offers a narrow footprint of exactly 3 square meters of floor space. Inside this tiny 3 square meter zone, we deploy a grid formation of exactly 10 modified styrofoam box containers, occupying space with maximum density. Under our biological engine protocol, these 10 boxes load sack completely, exploding into an unyielding green jungle canopy, yielding 15 to 25 kilograms of pure food monthly. Let's review your market grocery invoice. Premium store organic greens, $80. Your self-built living box solution cost, exactly $0. To unlock this value perpetually, you must master the timeline. For tomatoes, harvest immediately when the color breaks to orange-red. Do not wait for deep red complete softening. Picking at color break triggers a massive surge of natural ethylene ripening gas inside the kitchen window shelf, preserving plant sugars while protecting fruit skin walls from birds. Furthermore, early harvesting alerts the main plant stem channels. It instantly reroutes vital nutrient mass away from mature fruit, pumping energy into newborn flower nodes. Pruning suckers and harvesting early cuts nutrient waste completely, spiking total box yield capacity by an absolute 50%. Master the node, double the harvest. Plucking only the outer perimeter leaves leaves the root pump fully intact. It continues pushing moisture and nutrients upward, generating new leaf mass in weeks. For cucumber and bean varieties, harvest frequently when young. Plucking immature fruit tricks the plant into an absolute panic production loops, launching more blossoms immediately. To maximize the remaining subterranean matrix space, insert small root crops. Broadcast crisp radishes or kukai and carrots evenly between the rows. As these root crops swell, they push tough, packed particles apart, acting like small mechanical drills that fluff up the loam matrix without tillage tools. With vine pruning boosting volume by 50%, outer leaves loop harvested safely, and root drills fluffing earth numb, our factory hits peak efficiency parameters. Let's launch the final macro vision. Look out beyond your balcony railing. This small white box is no longer just a container for salad ingredients. It is a localized act of planetary defiance. Consider the global planetary matrix. United Nations UNCCD data warns that up to 90% of Earth's topsoil face is on track for total degradation by 2050. Nature operates with strict geological patience. It requires between 500 to 1 full 1,000 years for natural systems to build just 1 single centimeter of topsoil. Yet soil is our greatest climatic shield. Global IPCC audits confirm that the Earth beneath our feet stores 3 times more total carbon mass than the entire atmosphere combined. When you increase organic matter in your box soil by just 1 single %, that living earth block holds an extra 75,000 liters of water per hectare.